All right, so today we're talking making this adjustment to working remotely is huge. People are like, I need help with this. So today we're going to talk about part of that. Today we're going to talk, you see in the title, managing yourself, your workload, and your life. So this is not only for you solopreneurs who don't have employees, but me, I have employees, but I still am adjusting to working completely from home. So I have a few tips and tricks on how to help yourself, how to adjust. And then next week, we will talk about managing your team remotely. All right. And if there's still other questions you guys have about the remote working aspect, let me know and we'll tag on another week. But other than that, we're also going to talk, not today, but in future Wednesday trainings, we're going to talk about time management, selling, especially in this environment. A lot of people are afraid to sell because of where we're at right now. And you guys know, don't be scared to sell. We'll talk about that. And then my favorite that we'll talk about at some point is goal setting. And specifically, we're going to talk about setting financial goals. All right. So, but the formula that I use to set financial goals, you can use to set any sort of goals. All right. So that's that. So let's jump into today. I've spent 12 minutes talking about everything else. Let's talk about what we want to actually talk about today. So adjusting to remote working remotely, whatever. All right. So I've got, let's see, how many do I got? I got 5 tips for you. All right. And just like you guys always know with me, you got 5 tips, but then you got a lot of little sub tips within the tip, right? I try to make it easy at first sight, and then we break it down. We'll see. We'll see if this works. It seems to be working so far. All right, so the first thing you guys need to do for yourself is, in trying to balance working at home and all the other things going on, is create a schedule. All right, right now I'm using a Panda planner. I was using this for probably a year or two, and then I moved to Rachel Hollis's priority planner, but I finished it and the new one's not out yet. So this is my favorite. These come out again in May, you guys, not an ad, but the Hollis company's priority planner is freaking phenomenal. This was a game changer, life changer, you name it, that's what it did. Just the way it's broken out for me was just in line with how my brain works. It's not going to work for everyone. Brendon Burchard has a high performance habits planner that my husband just bought. Whatever it is, I suggest a planner. It helps. All right. So the reason I like both the Panda planner and the priority planner for making a schedule, which is step 1, is it has a time frame. So this one starts at 6 a.m. and goes till 9 p.m. But it kind of lets you schedule out your day. It gives you a place to put all your priorities for the day, and we'll talk about your priorities, your needle moving activities. And then it just has your tasks. I like the way it's broken out. Every person's brain is going to work different, but you want to create a schedule. All right. And in the environment we're in now, you have to be really, really aware and really cognizant of the schedule you're creating. You got to make sure that your schedule is conducive to when you can actually work. Right? There are so many of us, we have to take into consideration childcare. I know a lot of people who are balancing, one spouse works in the morning while the other spouse does childcare, and then they flip it after lunch. I know some people who are bringing in a mother-in-law or father-in-law, a cousin, someone for a few hours a week to help with the childcare, whatever that is. All right, but you need to make sure that, I'll come back to you, Kayla, yes. To make sure you are making a schedule that actually works with what your life looks like right now. All right, because right now you have to take the childcare, the homeschooling, the grocery shopping, the housework. All of it has certain times that can be done, maybe or maybe not. But it just seems like there's more now, right, than there ever was. Another thing, guys, if for example, maybe every day at 10, your kid is doing math and you have to sit down and help them with math. Then you need to make sure you're carving time out for that. Okay, don't plan on having a conference call at that same time or trying to do a tax return. Make sure you're carving out the things that are important. All right, do not schedule multitasking. First of all, multitasking is a myth. We cannot actually multitask. when they say, there's a saying out there that women are better at multitasking than men, all that means is women are better at going back and forth really fast between two tasks. All right. Multitasking is actually not possible. And I don't know about you guys, but I used to schedule out multitasking, right? Like I would be like, family time, but I'm also going to do my planning for next week. Like, no, don't do that. So do not plan. Don't schedule multitasking. All right. That might sound stupid to some of you, but that was a real thing for me. So yeah. And then don't overschedule. So you guys, this is something that I am learning in real time. So for me, when I would go to the office, I had it down to like how much time I had to set aside for the unplanned, like maybe for the, answering team questions or responding to client emails, stuff like that. Okay. I had it down to how much time a day that I had to spend on that. Flipping over to working remotely, last week was the last 2 weeks have just been insane because I was planning out my entire day still, and I would leave the chunks for those unexpecteds like I had when I worked at the office, but not enough time because there are so many more disruptions and interruptions and all the things now. All right. So I am to the point where I am only scheduling about 50 to 60% of my day. And just flip it back to last week, you guys. Last week when I was scheduling out my entire day and probably even overscheduling at that because I had so much stuff to do, it's very deflating and discouraging to get done on Monday at 7:00 p.m. and have done, still have 4 tasks off your Monday list that didn't get done and having to figure them out sometime later in the week. So prevent that wasted time because then you're spending more time again going back and reshuffling the rest of your week, and that's just waste of time. So only schedule, and everyone's percentage is going to be different. But like I said, I'm scheduling 50 to 60% of my day. And that's because I know that the kids are going to need school help. I know that I'm going to get sucked into something longer than I think I'm going to. All right. So that way, you guys, there's nothing worse, like I said, than planning out and then Monday night comes and you're already behind for the rest of the week. All right. You can always get ahead, right? You can always, if you get done with all of your stuff and then all of a sudden you have this unscheduled afternoon, you can always really easily pull a task from the next day and do it, right? It is way harder to do the other way around. All right. So do not schedule every minute of your day. Leave some, I call it white space. Leave some white space. All right. And then, if possible, this is a huge if possible, but work first. All right. It is so easy to get sucked into housework, schoolwork. For me, I last week had a hard time getting sucked into serving on social media. This is not super new, but the amount of serving I'm doing on social media has grown exponentially. And so I had to move that to later in the day because it takes longer than I think it's going to take. And so again, I know this is different because of childcare and school and everything, but if you can, schedule your work first. Get it done and then deal with the housework, the schoolwork, all the other things, okay? And in that same thing, you guys, and we'll talk about this more in future trainings, but I like to call them needle moving tasks. All right. And every day I schedule my 3 needle moving tasks first. And I do these before I'm allowed to do any other work. So again, we'll talk about this more in depth, probably in the goal setting training in a few weeks, and maybe the time management. But what the needle moving tasks, you guys, are the ones that are actually going to move your business forward. Okay. You're going to move your business towards your goal. So if you have a revenue goal, all right, those 3 needle moving tasks are something that are going to create revenue in your business. All right. And so for me, everything always comes back to me, right? So for me, I have my morning routine that I do first thing in the morning. And then as soon as I'm done with my morning routine, I hit those 3 needle moving tasks in my business. All right. And those are on my schedule. And I do them before I open my email, before I check my voicemail, before I check my social media, all the things. All right. So, and we will talk about that a lot more in depth in a couple weeks, but it all goes back to getting your work done, getting your productive things done before you get distracted down whatever rabbit hole you're getting distracted down. Pick your poison. Housework, social media, kids, your choice. All right, so that was number 1, was creating a schedule. All right, number 2, I want to talk about methods to keeping focus, because oh my gosh, you guys, if this isn't one of the hardest things I have. I mean, I just told you, like, I get on social media and I have 10 minutes blocked off, right, to just answer some quick questions, have a few quick interactions, right, and then all of a sudden 4 hours have passed and I'm still on social media. So few methods to keeping focus. I want to talk about other distractions first. How about your email? Like, one thing that I learned probably a year or two ago, I do not check my email first thing in the morning. I don't, because then I'm stuck doing reactive work instead of work for my business, right? I'm busy doing everyone else's work. Nope, I got to do my work first. What else is a distraction? Let me come back to the other distraction. But for me, a big one is a bit. Sorry, I'm trying not to read comments, but I am. So Karen says, "Hi, my name is Karen, and I like to self-sabotage myself by doing housework instead of needle moving tasks because they are out of my comfort zone." You're procrastinating. Like, I am the queen of procrastination. All right, like, since I was in high school. All right, so we will talk about fighting procrastination in a future Wednesday class. All right, but girl, it's doing something comfortable to avoid the uncomfortable. You got it. You recognize it, and that's so key. So key. All right, so back to one of my biggest distractions still is let me illustrate for you. So I'm sitting here doing a tax return, I'm in the zone, I'm doing it, and then all of a sudden I'm thinking about that email that I forgot to send, or the fact that it's April 15th and personal property taxes are also due. And oh crap, did Lindsay do that? And Karen had emailed me last night. Did I remember to answer her question? All the things, right? And then all of a sudden, instead of just like focusing on the tax return I'm supposed to be doing, I am now opening my email and looking to see if I got back to Karen. I am I'm slacking Lindsay. I'm slacking Lindsay to be like, hey, did you do those reports? Which not only is taking me from my focus, but now I've taken her from her focus. And everything's just a hot mess at that point, right? We'll talk about that. So those are all the ways you become unfocused, right? Distracted. All right. And now that we're at home, oh my God, like, you thought you were distracted at the office. Now there's housework to do. There's kids to have homework. There's thumping upstairs. You want to make sure everyone's alive. Like, it's insane. All right. So my first suggestion to you guys, and this is what I do. Okay. Use a timer. Okay. I set a 30-minute timer. When you first start out, you might want to start at like 20 minutes or maybe 15. But the point is, you set a 30-minute timer. And then after that 30-minute timer goes off, you take a 2 to 5 minute break. All right. But for that 30 minutes, you are hardcore focused on what you are doing. All right. I don't know about y'all, but at work, I do not that I can use. I don't have an Alexa I can use, but I have one right over here that I can use, and great for a timer. I used to use my phone, but then I open my phone and then I'm stuck, I get sucked into other things. So Alexa is a great thing to use, but any sort of timer at work, at my office, I actually got a kitchen timer because I had to stop getting into my phone to use the timer because it was its own distraction. So you set a timer for 30 minutes, you hardcore focus, and then you take a 2 to 5 minute break. And then for me, every 90-ish minutes, I take a 15 to 20 minute break. All right, I take a longer break, I stretch, I dance, I do all the things. All right, and so many people think that breaks are a waste of time, right? I mean, I used to be one of them. I'm like, so you're saying that when I work I'm gonna have 90 minutes of work, right? But I'm gonna have taken over 30 minutes of break as well. Like that, I can't afford to do that. Like, that's crazy. But you guys, fake productivity is the real waste of time. And when you are in these long periods of trying to focus and trying to do work, you're being fake productive. Okay? Give me a heart or a like. I'm guilty. Fake productive all the time. I'm getting better. I've gotten better. All right? But fake productivity is a waste of time. So taking breaks gives you something to look forward to and entices you to stay focused for that full 30 minutes. All right? Do it. Try it. It's going to be a game changer. I promise you. All right, then we talked about those distractions of when you're in something and then you're all of a sudden, then you're checking your email, you're going to Slack, you're doing all the things. You guys keep I call it a brain dump notebook. Mine is usually open. I'm telling you these habits. I'm like, oh, it's in front of me. Okay, brain dump book. I leave it, not this whole thing, but I leave it open. And then as I'm working, if something comes to my brain that's like, oh crap, did I do that? I write it down and I go back to my focus. Okay, because then I'm not really leaving what I'm doing. Okay, I'm still focused on my tax return. I just took the 5 seconds to write it down instead of the however much time to go deal with it. Right? And now it's off my brain as well. So it's not distracting my thought process. All right, this has been another game changer for me. All right. Game changer, brain dump book, just a notebook. And I lied. This is not my brain dump book. This is my brain dump book. I'm just holding stuff up. You guys will believe whatever I say, right? Like, this is my brain dump book. Just kidding. All right. So have a brain dump book. And then, so you're writing all down. And then so schedule a time each day to go through your brain dump book. So I schedule an hour a day where I go through my emails, I go through my voicemails, and I go through my brain dump book. All right. And from there, and this is probably its own training too, that's a planner. From my brain dump book, all of those thoughts and tasks go somewhere. All right. So if it can be handled like in less than a minute, I do it. Right. If it's something that is going to take more time, I create a task in whatever my project manager or my task manager software is. However, I don't know how you guys all do it, but whatever you use, that system. All right. I feel like there's a third one, but those are the only two I can think of. It either gets done or it goes on my task list. All right. So that was number 2, methods to keep you guys focused. All right. And now number 3 is make technology your friend. All right. So a lot like this is huge. All right. This can mean so many things. I will tell you what it means to us. So for us, it meant ensuring that our VPN to get into the server at work worked so we could access the files from our server. If you have to manage team projects virtually, right? We'll talk about this next week because this is more on the managing your team than the managing yourself. But same, like using we talked about it, like using a task list or some sort of project management, even if you're by yourself. All right. And sure, that can be pen and paper, but using something online. If you use Google, like if you use Gmail, within Gmail, I think there's like a tasks, and that's what I've been using personally. I just like make an email a task, and then I have my little task list of all the stuff I need to do. But multiple screens, if you just have too much going on, would an extra screen help make it so you're more efficient? Because for me, when I'm at work, when I'm at the office, I have 3 screens. All right. Because I don't even know why I have 3 screens. I have this year's tax return up. I have last year's tax return up. And then I have the work papers, this year's work papers up. Okay. And by having all of them up, guys, you save so much time from having to flip from screen to screen. So that's something that can help you. All right. But be creative, right? What else? Bookmark your websites. All right. I can't tell you over the last few days how much time I've wasted doing a Google search to find a website that I've now been to 8 times. Bookmark the damn thing, right? Save time. Technology gives us all these tools to help make our lives easier. Use them. And you guys stay off social media, turn off notifications when you're in the zone, and minimize those unnecessary distractions. All right, your apps, there are apps out there, and I can't remember, I used to have one, but there are actually apps that you can put on your computer that will shut down or hide notifications for certain periods of time. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's not true. Not Do Not Disturb. I put on screen time will be limited. You can't see that. But that way, if I have to get into my phone, like, you have to go through extra steps, and it's a waste of time. So it keeps me from wanting to be in my phone. All right. Hi, Jamie. We talked about you a little bit at the beginning. So you guys make technology your friend. Use it for some time saver activities. All right. Whether all the things we just talked about. All right. And the last two, you can debate whether they're work related or not, but I'm going to fight you to the death that these two things are just as important as everything I already told you, which the 3 things we just talked about obviously will make your running your business remotely and managing yourself easier. These 2 things are going to make your life easier as well. So number 4 on my list is schedule time to move your body. We are moving something like 60% less in quarantine than we were before. All right, I know I am. My step counter is terrible, right? Because I'm not walking to the copier. I'm not walking to people's desks to help them or get questions, or walking to the front to greet people. I'm not walking anywhere. You know, I walk up to the bathroom and I walk up to go get snacks. But even, I mean, being home, I don't even have to go get my own lunch, you guys. My husband brings it to me. I know y'all don't, not everybody has that, but I'm not moving. So what I mean by schedule time to move your body, this can look like all 3 things I'm about to tell you. It can look like pieces of these 3 things. All right. But for me, I'm not a morning workout person. I do a workout every day at noon. My body's ready to actually move and do things. I like it because it makes my afternoon more productive. Because it's it goes back to that whole taking a break and resetting type thing. But I do want to move my body first thing in the morning in some way, shape, or form. So what I do is I move my body for 10 minutes every morning as part of my morning routine. It's the very last part of my morning routine before I get into my 3 needle moving activities. All right. And so I do active stretching to music. So I'm kind of dancing. I'm always dancing. And that's part of my day. All right. And then I've started scheduling move breaks. So I set 3 alarms every day. I do this in the morning when I'm reviewing my schedule for the day. So I make sure my alarm's not going off during a meeting or a call. Not that that's ever happened to me before. So I might manipulate it a little bit, but usually it's 8, 10, and 2-ish. All right. Where I get up and I stretch and dance to one song. Well, one song plays on Spotify. No, not on Spotify. I set my alarm. I set my alarm to the dance song that makes me want to dance. I should read my own notes before I start talking to the camera. So just now, 1:45 my time, right before we started this, my alarm went off and Me Too by Meghan Trainor came on. And I got up. I did not snooze. I just got up and I started dancing / stretching and taking that 2-minute break. All right. You guys, change your body, change your mind. All right. I'm going to throw you a whole bunch of Rachel Hollis quotes right quick. So that's one. So when you're grumpy, when you're anxious, excited, all the things, right? Get up and dance for 2 minutes, because changing your body will change your mind. And it can also change your mood. And like we've said, you will refine your focus after you take a move break. All right. The other part of that, that I think Brendon Burchard actually trains on is your body does not use, or what is it? A power plant does not use energy. It makes energy, right? Well, your body is the same way. So in order to give yourself the energy to get through all the things, which there are more things now that we have to get through, you need to keep your energy up. And you do that by moving your body. Sorry, not sorry. All right, which brings me to my last one, and it is meal planning. So this includes snacks. And you're probably like, Brianna Beers, what in the heck does meal planning have to do with being able to successfully work remotely? Well, let me tell you. So if you're like me, you've been on quarantine vacay and eating all the crap in sight. Raise your hand. I'm guessing that's what all the likes and loves were right now. All right. You are eating the Cheetos. You are drinking the wine. You are eating the cookies. You are eating the Taco Bell, the drive-thru, whatever. All right. Because if you're anything like me, this was temporary, right? And anytime there's something temporary, holiday seasons, vacations, it's a reason to just fall off the wagon and just all your habits go to crap, right? No. So what I'm telling you is, well, I'm here for you living your best life, okay? What I'm going to ask you to do is wait until after your workday is done. Okay, when you're done with your workday, then you go have the wine, you go have the Dr. Pepper, the Cheetos, the cookies, everything your heart desires. Because we are in a tough time, and I believe that there is balance to be had, all right? But I kind of feel like what you're doing by moving your body and fueling your body with good foods throughout the day, you're like earning those indulgences later, all right? You can think of it any way you want. That's how I do it. I tell myself I've earned those cookies and the Dr. Pepper and the wine or the whiskey. I'm doing whiskey now. But you guys, during your workday, it's important to fuel your body with foods that are going to give you energy. All right. If you're eating all that crap during the day, you're going to feel lethargic. You're going to feel tired. You're not going to be productive. Okay. And the whole spiel of today is let's be productive. Okay. We're trying to increase our productivity. All right. So fuel your body with things that are going to give you energy. All right. I said meal plan including snacks, because if you have your meals, you have your snacks all figured out, you also won't be wasting time raiding the pantry. I don't know about you, but again, last week, can't tell you how much time I spent just staring at an open fridge or an open pantry, just looking for food, right? You know, Jamie, I'm not saying you can't drink during the workday. You know, there are going to be days like that. There's going to be. I'm just going to say probably not every day, which you guys, last week, I was living my best life, but I was like past living my best life. I can't even tell you. Like, whiskey at 3 o'clock almost every day, and Dr. Pepper for lunch, and it was a mess. So we're balancing, all right? Again, I'm not telling you not to enjoy all those things, all right? We are in a weird time, a time where comfort food makes us feel better. It makes us feel comfortable, and it helps, right? But you have to balance. You have to balance. And you balance by moving your body, okay? You balance by eating healthy crap as well. Okay? So, not an ad, but we're going to talk about Rachel Hollis's last 90 days, all right, or next 90 days. So it's the middle of a challenge right now where we are, it's a 14-week program. It's free. If you go to thehollisco.com, you want to join, you should. Because each week, it's like, it's like a course that normally people would charge you to be a part of, and they're giving it away for free. But what I'm talking about is there's a 5 to thrive. And these are the 5 things that you do as part of this challenge. All right. One of them is giving up one category of food. This time around, I didn't give anything up. And Jamie, I think, is on the same boat as me. Because our mentality was, I've given up going out with friends. I've given up seeing friends. I've given up going to the bar. I've given up. I've been forced to give up all these things already. So I'm good. I'm good giving up things. So what I did is I added something that was good for me. So I told myself that I was going to add eating a vegetable to every single meal that I consumed. So and the whole reason I'm saying this is it goes to balance. All right. And so I'm still eating the things I love, eating the things that make me feel good, but I'm balancing it with making sure good stuff gets into my body too. It's not all or nothing. You don't have to completely fall off the bandwagon and just be like, sayonara. There's a happy medium. Happy medium. All right, so that's it. That's what I have for you guys. So managing yourself, your workload, and your life. One is create a schedule. Go back. That was like the money of this whole hour, 41 minutes. 2, I gave you methods to keep you focused. 3, make technology your friend. 4, schedule time to move your body. And 5, meal plan, including snacks. You guys, it's an unprecedented time for all of us, right? And for some of us, we are facing struggles that we already had to deal with, but on a much grander scale, right? Like focus is always hard for me. Always hard for me. And now it's just, now I have more distractions to deal with. So how do I conquer those? All right. And so that's what we're doing here. So managing yourself in the quarantine working life means maximizing your productivity when you're working. All right. So it means, it means picking the times of the day where you're going to be most productive and working during those times. It means limiting distractions when you are working. It means creating a schedule so you have a plan. So you're not sitting around what do I do? You know what you're doing for the day. All right. And it means setting yourself up for success by giving yourself energy by moving and eating right. Cool. See, it all ties back. All right. Sure, I'm your money guru, but I'm so much more. All right. So let me know if you have questions. Let me see. So Kayla, I told you I'd get back to you. I think you asked, can you post a link to the planner? I gave you a few planners. I will post all the links to all 3 planners I talked about. Check them all out. Again, they're all similar, but there's a few different key pieces in each and every one that just makes some better than others for me. But everyone's going to be different, right? Because our brains all work differently. So I will post the link for, I think Panda Planner is actually just pandaplanner.com. And then Brendon Burchard's High Performance Habit Planner, I'll put the link in because I think it's a little bit of a workaround. And unfortunately, Rachel Hollis's Priority Planner, which is my absolute favorite, is not available. But it will be, I'll tell you, it will be available May 5th at Target. Target.com, your choice. All right. And this one is just my jam. And I think all the 3 of these, you guys, the reason they work for me is because they have a monthly page, a weekly section, and a daily page. All right. So I can look at my month from a big perspective. So I can look at my goal for the month, right? And then I can break down each week and figure out what are my meetings for the week, what activities do I have? None right now. And what calls or whatever, and what are my goals for the week. And then you can break it down into the days as well. So that, I think, is probably the key component that all of these successful planners have, is that they have the month, the week, and the daily aspect to them. But I will find the links and put them in there. Do you have a separate planner for business and personal? I don't. I put everything in one planner. I do, and I also only keep one calendar on Google Calendars, because for me, I only want to have to go one place. I don't want to have to go multiple places. And I guess I have no problem with my entire team knowing what I'm doing. I mean, I can hide it in Google. You can say just busy, but whatever. But no, I put it all together, and I think, again, this is probably going to come down to, personal preference, but I would feel like if I had a business planner and a personal planner, that I would miss things. I would overbook myself and it would just be a hot mess. I do, however, everyone in my family has a Google Calendar, even my kids. Let me see. Give me a second. I think I can actually show this to you guys. No, because I'm on Facebook. I'm not on Zoom. Just kidding. But so on my calendar, I can see my entire team's calendar as well, or whatever they have on their work calendar at least. And then I have my husband's calendar linked to mine. And then my kids we have a kids calendar They're 10 and 11. They're not old enough to each have their own calendar quite yet, but they have their own activities calendar. So we know when the kids' activities are going on. And then, that's just super nice because like let's say Travis, we had a gala we were supposed to have, I think next week. And so he put it on the calendar. He invited me. It was on my calendar too. I love Google Calendars. And there's other apps similar to that. I think Cozy is another popular one. But online calendars are great. I love a hard, sorry, that's actually my work phone. What was I saying? Oh, a hard, because I like to be able to just flip it open, see it. And there's something about writing it down as opposed to typing it into a calendar that just works better for me. Plus I use erasable pen, so I can just erase it when I change it. Let's see. So I think I got all your guys' questions. Kayla, same. I can't keep moving multiple ones, but I have trouble finding when to manage everything. And it is hard. And I think the reason, not a dad, but I think the reason I like the priority planner so much, I don't think there's anything that you guys don't need to see, but maybe I'll pick a not such a messy one. Messy page. Nope, they're all messy. Oh my God, I'm such a hot mess. It doesn't matter. So what I like is that like this is a whole day. They've devoted 2 pages to a day. So it's not cramped. That's the one thing I'm missing when I'm in my priority planner is my priority. Well, it's still 2 pages, but it's so much smaller, right? I like how much room I have in this one to really be able to write everything I need to do down. Although in the Panda planner, I love that there's ribbons because one's on the month, one's on the week, one's on the day. I actually wrote the Hollis company and asked them about that. I was like, hey, can you put ribbons in your next Panda planner or your next priority planner? So yeah, that's it. I've spent almost an hour of your guys' time, so thank you. I'm going to check my messages before I go to my team meeting at 3, and I will see you guys here on Friday at 2 p.m. For COVID updates and Q&A. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye.